All right, my name is Mark Hummel, and welcome to Mark Hummel's Harmonica Party. And I'm here with one of the great singers of the Bay Area, and for that matter, the world. I'm here with Lady Bianca, who lives in the Bay Area and is from here. Well, you're from Kansas City originally.
Born in Kansas City, Missouri. Came here when I was 4. So
Right.
basically, I'm a San Francisco transient that went to Oakland.
Right.
Yeah,
Long time
a
ago.
long time.
Yeah. And we're just going to talk about Bianca's career and all the great people that she's worked with. She was nominated for a couple Grammy Awards for her solo records, and she's just done a whole lot of stuff. So let's get into it. Now, one thing I read today, and I really love this, is that your father was a blues fan, but he listened to blues but called it gospel.
Well, see, my father was from Houston, Texas, and he was one of the guys from Fifth Ward. And basically, those were the I'd say gangster people.
Oh, yeah.
But basically
Blues people.
blues people,
Yeah.
because that was the blues back then. Houston has a sound. Texas has a sound. Kansas City has a sound. The Midwest has a blues,
Yep.
and San Francisco, Oakland has a blues too. So but I didn't know what that identification was at the time. I just know that the gospel, and I liked what I felt. You see, it wasn't about what I heard. It was what it made me feel like. Listening to Aretha Franklin play piano, but there was something about her piano that had a little extra something in it.
Yeah. Would you say that she was an influence on starting piano?
But you know who was really the influence was Ray Charles to me,
Right.
because it was something about the way the chords and his vocals fit together that made you feel something. It didn't. It wasn't like I heard, oh, that's good, but no, it was the way you felt when you heard him sing and play the piano.
Right. Well, it's interesting because both of them have very big gospel in there.
Yes, they
Sound.
do. And country.
And blues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the country
Yeah.
part, I love the country part. I'm so lonesome I could cry, because there's something about the way that's put together, those chords, and the way they there's just that one chord, like that means he's lost the will to live. And I'm so lonely I could cry. Just that part right there
Yeah.
was what made me cry, because I felt that the chords and the vocals and the energy that went in right there. I don't know about the rest of the song.
Yeah. Well, that was the album they told him he was if he recorded it and put it out, it was going to be like suicide.
Well, what
It was
happened?
his biggest one.
What
It was
happened?
his biggest one ever.
Yeah, because
yeah.
it was stories behind some things that you can't sing. That Marvin Gaye had an album full of, like the "Oh Mercy Me" was full of these threats from the record companies
Right.
who had no idea of what they were what the artist was creating, but they had a say so in how they created it and where they placed it. And I thought that was sad too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a lot of record companies don't know what to do with you if you could be a big artist, and they'll say, "Well, we can't sell this," you know.
Right. And it seems like a lot of it has to do with that people that get into a few different genres.
Yeah.
Like when they can't classify it, they get really nervous.
They get very nervous, and
Yeah.
if you try to change once you sign with a record company, then if you can't replace it and put the same thing back in, it's like wearing the same dress over and over again. You know, that's not me. I have to have fashion.
Right,
you know, I have
right.
fashion.
as I can see.
Yeah. Well, this is simple fashion,
Yeah.
but when I'm on stage, I like to be the character of Lady Bianca.
You do.
Yeah.
You do. Yeah. You're almost kind of the predecessor to Lady Gaga or something.
Yeah. Well, I was first.
Yeah, you were first.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So basically, all the people like to dress, and when we get on stage, because it's part of our, like you wearing your hat. We know that's
Right,
you, Mark.
right,
You know, we know that's that guy.
Yeah.
He's gonna play harmonica. And there is
Right,
the hat. You know,
right.
there's just something. There's that identifies us as our. I can't remember what that name is, but there's a certain identification we
Right,
do.
right. Your
because
trademark. kind of.
Trademark.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
the word.
Right.
And the trademark it lets the audience open themselves up. If she can open herself up to wear that,
Right.
then I can open myself up to feel what's inside me. That's what I
Yeah.
do. But my thing is to touch people with the music and the vocal.
Yeah. And you began playing at what age? What age
I
were
think
you
I was 4, and I was getting all
when
the
you started playing piano?
Yeah,
Wow.
because my mom bought me a little tiny piano, and I would she'd take me to church, and we'd be playing all the gospel the traditional gospel things. But I had the lyrics all messed up. I had my own set of lyrics with them, and I still have that problem today.
Well, you're a wonderful artist, and I wanted to get into the thing of that. You said you you started singing at 18 in a conservatory, the San Francisco
No, what
Conservatory.
happened was, I'll tell you this story. This is interesting because I loved to sing, but the people around me didn't like me. You know, my peers, they just talked about me, maybe because I was a skinny little girl and we didn't eat meat. We were vegetarians, and that was that wasn't normal at the time. I had long hair that wasn't normal at the time, or I cut my hair and it was too short. It was just something about my family they didn't like. And so I said, maybe I'll do something. But I wanted to sing, and you know who was the first person I wanted to sing? Dionne Warwick.
Really?
So I sang her songs, and I was so nervous the day they said, "Okay, Bianca, you're gonna sing today in front of the whole." It was like they call them rallies, right? You know, those big rallies. And I said, "Okay, I could do it. I could do it." And then they said, "In a few minutes, we're gonna have Bianca Thornton come out and sing." And I lost it. I went to the bathroom and just threw up, and my legs were shaking. I couldn't do it. I just could not get myself to take my body back to the stage by the curtains. You know the curtains, and you look out and see the audience.
Right.
I was right there, and I just was like, I can't do this. I can't do this. And someone said, just try it. So somebody pushed me or something. And I went out there, and I did The Girl from Ipanema, and I did Dionne Warwick's song. And when I got the reaction,
that's when
I said, this
is
is where
it.
I belong. And from then on, I had all
great.
the confidence. But the first part, you know.
So how old were you?
I was 16, 17 then.
Okay.
And I was still in high school.
Yeah.
And my mom had made me this short hot pants set. It was like, I'll never forget that. It was silver with powder blue skirt and little rhinestone shorts underneath there. I was dressed for the party. See, I was dressed in that too. And when I did that, I did Barbra Streisand. That's who I did. People. I did People, and I did Girl from Ipanema.
Uh-huh.
And when I did People, I tried to sing it as how I felt it. You know, people who need people are the luckiest people in the world. The children, you know, needing other children. And when I finished with that, the whole audience stood up. It was like, it was amazing.
That is amazing.
And then I got a scholarship to the Conservatory of Music.
Wow.
I got a Pepsi Cola academic award. And then we went on from there.
That's amazing.
But the thing about it is, like when I got to Beethoven and Bach and Chopin and some of the other people, I started arranging
your own versions. Yeah.
And they said, "You can't do that." I said, "Well, you know, this is nothing but rock music. This is dance music of the time. I don't see why I can't do it." And so I started changing things when I would play it, you know, like the Chopins and the Fiordilise. And I have a song right now that it's called Passion. It starts off with Beethoven's Fiordilise, and then it goes into that and goes back into Fiordilise. I have to play it for you one time.
That's
that you
amazing.
Hear it.
Yeah.
And so I didn't finish because I didn't like the way they were treating me. They were treating, now see, this is where this thing comes into, like talent versus
kind of power,
racism,
right, sexism.
Yeah. Right. The woman that was the singer, I didn't think she was as good as me, but she got everything. They treated her like a star.
Right.
But I had the same vocals, but what I did, they said, "We can't have you here.
Wow.
You're
You're
not
too independent.
Yeah,
almost?
yeah.
Yeah.
I think I
Wow.
heard that word a lot. You know,
Independent.
Independent.
Yeah. Well, you're ahead of your time.
Yeah. You said.
Yeah.
And they said, well, I got all the way there. Do it 3.5 years. Yeah, it was a 4-year college, 4-year scholarship, and I said, I don't need to do this. So I went over to. I went and hung out with the people who were doing blueses, like. It was this Quinn Harrison and Masterminds. You can find his album with me singing when I was still like very operatic. It was my first album. It's called Quinn Harrison and Masterminds. You can find it if you look in the bins for $1. You know,
Really?
vinyl,
And he's the one that named you Lady Bianca.
Yeah, he named me Lady Bianca because I was so prissy and you know, operatic and singing in Italian and singing in French and blah blah blah. Because that was the middle class, black people. We were middle class, so
Right.
we were considered, you know.
Now, where did you live in San Francisco?
I lived in Ingleside. It's called Merced Heights now.
Okay.
Over there by Stonestown area,
Okay.
State College
Yeah.
over in that area.
All right.
And we had this hill. That's why I think that was why I always had strong legs because it would go straight up, and I'd walk with books and everything every day.
Wow.
I was strong. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And we lived in this house at the top of the hill. Okay. And so yes, that's where I grew up. Grew up there. I was born in Kansas City, but my mom took me to San Francisco.
And was your father with you at that point, or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a father.
Yeah, you have a father. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but sounds like they were both pretty encouraging, though, if you're singing and playing.
No, Dad was encouraging. Mom didn't appreciate that music.
That it was, because it was not
It wasn't
Christian music.
It wasn't
Yeah.
Christian
Okay,
music.
let's start that question again. Do you need some more water? Hey guys,
Yeah.
let's start that question again so that we can get it answered without you all leaning away.
And
Okay.
buzzing.
Buzzing. I didn't hear I heard the buzzing, but not through the microphone. So.
Okay.
Okay. You going?
Mhm.
Okay. So your parents, it sounds like, were pretty supportive of your music.
My dad was very supportive because he bought me a grand piano. I didn't know how to play it, and I was trying to learn it. I could play like dun 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 dun. I didn't have any chords. I didn't know anything about bass playing left hand. I didn't know about that. I just knew how I heard the music, and that would just play the chords. And so yeah, and then the paper versions of things I didn't like to read, but I could read,
Yeah.
but I didn't like that because it stifled me. And I remember hearing Ray Charles say, "Learn their music, but don't put that in there because you'll lose what you have."
Right.
And so I basically didn't want to read anyway.
So did you kind of find the chords
Yeah,
yourself?
I found
Wow.
I found my chords
that's
that
heavy duty.
fit with them. Yeah, kind
Yeah.
of found those chords that, and because the chords, another thing, it made me feel good.
Yeah.
You know, the chords that I
Yeah.
feel like when you play your harmonica, there's certain chords that just give you satisfaction.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so that's basically what I did, and I just and then we'd go to the not the Oakland Coliseum, but they had the Oakland Auditorium,
Right.
and we'd see people like the Mighty Clouds of Joy, the Dorothy and
Dorothy Love Coates.
yeah, and Mavis and the Staple Singers. And,
Really?
hmm
Wow.
And the Staple Singers were my favorite because the dad would play that. He had that
Yeah,
thing with
Pop
the
Staples,
guitar,
yeah.
you know,
Yeah, the tremolo. Yeah, the
yeah.
tremolo.
And that
Yeah.
made me happy because I think because I couldn't really communicate with people, but I communicated with the music and how it made me feel, and then that served me to be okay amongst the people.
Did you see them before they really had the big hits?
I saw them when they were singing "Uncloudy Day" and
Okay, so you
and
saw them
Dorothy
prior to
Coates,
that. Yeah.
and them telling
The Four Stacks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and them telling before that, and Dorothy telling about how they had to get on the bus because the Ku Klux Klan was gonna get them, and we were just like, oh, how did they get up here? We'd be scared for them to go back down there, but that
Yeah.
was all part of their show,
Oh,
and
was
I
it? Yeah,
learned
yeah.
that their show, how they did the show,
Right.
got them the tickets. You
Right.
see, and, you know,
Right.
I don't think it may have been that bad, but it was just every one of the Mighty Clouds of Joy. They had on different color suits,
Yeah.
and their hair was was processes, and,
Right.
and they would sing. I like the show business, but I didn't know
Yeah.
that's what it was.
Right.
So
right.
that's why I dress like that, because that's part of what included me into them, you know.
Right.
Yeah. And so basically the whole thing got me involved in it.
Now, did you see Ray Charles early on?
I always never got to see Ray Charles. I just heard and listened to him because
Yeah.
I didn't get to go see him.
I got to see him one time.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm so jealous. I loved him, but I didn't.
Yeah.
But there are so many stories behind what they go through.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
But I thought it was just like Disneyland with them. You know, I didn't think of them as alcoholics. Or,
Right. You don't see behind the curtain.
You don't see
Yeah.
behind the curtain. I remember
Right.
that I said I gotta meet Mavis. I just gotta meet her.
Yeah.
And I went back and she goes, "What do you want, honey?" You know,
Really?
it wasn't that sweet little lady. So I said, and I heard all the people talking back that he was cussing and saying stuff, you know, to each
Oh,
other.
Ray?
Yeah, you know.
Yeah. Ray could be
No,
brutal.
not Ray, but just the people that were singing in the show.
Oh,
We-
okay.
you
Yeah,
we'd hear all
right.
kind of stuff. He said, "You need to get out of here because this ain't for you." Like that, you know.
Yeah.
So, but I
Were
got
you pretty young at that
Yeah, I
point?
was really
Yeah,
young.
yeah.
I must have been about 10 or 11.
Wow. Okay.
And you think that, but when you go behind the scenes, those people are just people who
Sure
trying
they
to
are.
make their money and
Right.
get to the next town.
Yep.
Which I learned later that
Yeah.
I understood. You know.
Yeah. Takes a while, I think. I mean,
Yeah.
I know for me, I was the same way. It was.
Yeah.
You see
like-
people. You have this idea of what it is.
Yeah.
And then later on, you know, after years of doing it, like
Uh-huh,
both
you
of us,
go,
you know,
"What?"
you it's a whole different thing.
What? And people don't pay you.
Right.
They lost your check. The
Yeah.
promoter's missing.
Right.
The food was nasty.
Right.
And you didn't get what you were supposed to
Yeah.
get because
The back room is like just a toilet,
a big
a
ass
bathroom.
toilet with some
Right.
with some dirty rugs on there. You know,
Yeah.
telling what's on the
It's
rug.
brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember going to Philadelphia one time and I went in that back room. Oh my God. You know, just going there, but the stage looked good.
The stage looks great.
But we, as artists, we get the nastiest dressing rooms in the whole world. I don't understand
Yeah.
why.
Same with hotels sometimes.
Yeah.
You know.
Bugs and
Yeah.
stuff and some such.
Yeah. And I always think to myself, well, I bet they wouldn't put their relatives in here.
I bet they would put their mama. I bet they would put their mama in there.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
how dare you do that?
Yeah.
You know.
No, it's terrible.
But we go on like nothing happened. We
Well-
go out and march out there to that stage, and that's where the magic happens.
Yeah.
And basically, whatever we have, whatever blues is in our heart, it comes out on stage, and
Right.
it's a magical.
Yep.
Yeah.
It is magical. That's why we keep doing it. We
Yeah.
can't give it up.
Can't give it up.
No.
We just can't. Sometimes, well, here lately, I've been like, how I've been doing, because I guess after I had my incident of emergency surgery thing, I kind of like, what have you been doing? Now I have to climb back in that seat, and is it beneficial to me?
Mm-hmm.
Because it is beneficial, but it's not as beneficial as keeping my life.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, you know.
That's definitely the priority.
Yeah, the priority, keeping my life, my health and
Yeah.
strength. Yeah.
So, early on, you were in some pretty big groups. I mean, now what was the name of the guy that
Quinn Harrison. and
Quinn
Master-
Harrison?
Quinn
And then-
Harris and the Masterminds.
Right, and then not long after that, you got the Evolution of the Blues
With John
Hendricks.
Uh-huh.
Right.
And I played Billie
And
Holiday.
you did Billie Holiday.
And I
yeah.
was so enthused by her story. I wanted to sound like her. I wanted to do her, and so I studied it. I studied her, and I could sound like her. And
Can you do a little bit?
You sure you want to know?
I'd love
You
to
know
hear.
what? This is weird because I thought you asked me this before a long time ago.
No.
So you just now asking me.
Well, I asked you in the car about talking
No,
about
I'm
Billie.
just saying that this is like,
You getting a deja vu?
Yeah.
Wow.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, let me see. I'm glad you're sad. Don't explain.
Wow. You get an A for that. Oh, that's incredible.
But then I also liked Bessie Smith because
Right.
she was so
Sassy.
she
Yeah.
was sassy,
Yeah.
and so I could do her too.
Wow. And I bet that's full volume.
Well, yeah, but you know she didn't care about what you do. You take advantage of my youth that you can understand. So wait a while, and I'll show you, child, how to treat a no good man. You make him stay at home, washing and tell all the neighbors he done lost his mind. But
Wow.
that's not her key.
Yeah, but that's still amazing. It's beautiful the way you found all the detail of these singers. No,
Yeah,
it's
and,
really
and Mavis,
very impressive.
she thought her she does tell me.
Yeah. Oh, she's so great.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
those three
yeah.
combinations
That's really
gave me
great.
mine. You know, that kind of, those
Yeah.
things made me feel good to listen to them. And so
Yeah.
then Lady Bianca found herself in the midst of all of them. And she put, it's just like a stew. She put a little bit of this,
Right,
a little
right.
bit of that,
A
and a
jambalaya.
little bit of
Yeah.
that. And then it
Yeah.
became me. 1, 2, 3.
Ladies and gentlemen of Can't Stop the Blues, today we are proud to present, live from Greaseland Studios, on her birthday, the one, the only, the legendary Lady Bianca.
Gonna have a good time. Gonna have a good time. Right here. Oh, a good time. Gonna have a good time. Gonna have a good time. Right here. Oh, I was just sitting there doing a bell of thing. Then the neighbor next to me stood up and started calling on Jesus' name. The preacher began to preach and the choir began to sing. I felt something touch me. Come on, no! Good time. Good time. Good time. Right here. Yeah. Good time. Gonna have a good time. Gonna have a good time. Right here. You know I didn't know what to do. You know all about. I'm wondering. Then I started to shout. I started running. I started shouting. I said hallelujah. Jesus is alive in me, and I felt so brand new. Have a good time. Good time, baby. Good time. Have a good time. Gonna have a good time. Right here, Graceland, too.
Give it up for Lady Bianca.
Yeah, that's great. So tell me about what caught your ear about Billy?
Billie Holiday?
Yeah,
Billie Holiday had a flower right here.
Right.
She dressed.
right. She did dress. Yeah.
And she had the most elaborate gowns. And that's what I was after. Her gowns, her dress, the way she looked. Her, well, when she was younger, she's very beautiful. Black and white
Yeah.
colors, lips. Oh, and I like black and white movies because they had that lipstick on.
Right.
I love that lipstick. So
Yeah.
Billie Holiday had that lipstick, and I thought that made her sing like that.
Yeah.
You know,
Interesting.
when you're a kid, you say, "Oh, that's what made her sing like that." I gotta put that lipstick on.
Interesting. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what I liked about Billie. I
Yeah.
liked that she would phrase. Now, see, Billie had a phrasing. It was a little bit behind, a little bit in front of, but she knew how to. Like in my solitude,
Right. Right. She liked to.
crazy.
Yeah.
Dear Lord above, send back my love.
Yeah.
But you see, and then I learned I could stretch mine like that. too.
Right.
And that's what part of
Right.
it. And Stanley Lippert, my husband, he kind of identified that. He said, there you are, but you got a little bit more you got to do.
Well, she definitely could phrase everything differently.
Yeah, but
in
she would
each
always
version.
play.
It was never
she'd
the same phrasing.
Stretch it like taffy.
Right. She
would
sure did.
Stretch it in there,
Yeah.
and it's hard to do because if you don't have like good timing, you can't do it. But
Right.
it was the way she did it. Like, my man don't love me, don't treat me oh so mean. My man don't love me.
Boy, you got her
You
down.
know that treat
You
me
really got
oh
her
so
down.
mean. He's the meanest man that I ever seen.
Yeah.
You know,
That is great. Yeah.
and so
Yeah,
she
you
would
really-
do. She could
yeah.
drop that. She could drop stuff, her vocals were instruments.
Yep.
It wasn't just a singer.
That's right.
Like most musicians, male musicians, think that we're just there to look cute and to sing. But her voice and a lot of other people's voices were instruments.
Right.
Part like a saxophone, but it's a voiceophone.
She really was. She was about as close to a horn as I think anybody.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, she really was.
But don't give her credit for the horn. She was Helena. I mean, she was
Billy.
Billy.
Yeah.
And her instrument was
What's her voice?
was
Yeah.
her voice. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's something that you studied Bessie like that too.
I love Bessie because
Yeah.
she was wild.
Oh, she's totally wild. Yeah.
She liked to eat. She didn't take no steps. She was a businesswoman,
Right.
way past her time.
Yep.
And that's what I think I could have did better on business.
Well, business is one of those things where it's almost like if you don't do it the majority of your career, it's easy to get kind of lost along
Well,
the way.
they said you're too aggressive. You know. I said I need this. I want this.
Right.
You're too demanding.
Right.
You know you.
But
I
that's
was like,
this.
That's that female
That's a way of
thing. Yeah.
That's a way of putting the thumbs on you.
Yeah, putting me down and
Yeah.
holding me there.
Yeah.
And that's what I.
They don't like that.
No, they don't.
And that's why they go after young people like they do.
Yeah.
Because young people a lot of times will just go along with
And
anything
then they wake
throw.
up and they're smashed to
yeah,
pieces.
they're smashed to pieces.
Yeah.
Yep. Amen to that.
So
Yeah.
I tried not to be like that, and then so I got a husband who would talk for me, or a manager who talked for me, but it was basically I knew what I wanted,
Mm-hmm.
you know, myself, and that's where the program starts to get. Then if it can't do you, they'll tell you, well, your husband's in your way. You know. You did this.
Whatever they can do
Whatever
to-
they
yeah,
can do to keep
make
you from.
excuses,
But
yeah.
that doesn't mean you're not the best, because you are one of the best. And if you don't
Right.
take their smashing, and I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
I am
I'm the same
so
way, yeah,
glad
yeah.
that I didn't, because I'm alive, and the other people, they got so caught up in things, you know, caught
Yeah.
up in food and drugs and
Money, whatever.
Yeah, money.
Yeah.
And I'm not putting them down, because it's a hard road to travel, this music business,
Mm-hmm.
and it's very heavy,
Yep.
very, very heavy, and you have to not, you know, don't care to the point where you just say, okay, here, use me, I just want to make it. Do not do that. If we stuck together as musicians and demanded more respect, I think we would do better.
Right.
But we're so anxious. When you're young, you don't think about all the wolves that are waiting for you.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about how long did the Jon Hendricks Evolution of the Blues go for?
Oh, it went for years. I mean, I think we did about 3 or 4 years of that Billie Holiday part. I didn't do Bessie. Another lady did Bessie, but I did that with the Vernon Alley band. I forgot all the saxophone player and all of them. We did that. Larry Vukovic was the piano
Wow.
player. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I remember Larry.
He's
Leslie.
great.
Yeah,
I've seen him at Yoshi's before.
Yeah, if you ask him about the Billie Holiday, he always played it for me.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, I wasn't playing piano then,
Oh,
and so
okay. Interesting.
he was very nice. And I liked Larry because Larry was encouraging to you. He didn't say you
Yeah.
can't do this or anything. He said, Bianca, you just did that, and he would have an accent. I don't know where he's from, but
Yeah.
he would say, Bianca, you did that very well. Just keep that up. Keep it up. You
Yeah,
know? Mm-hmm.
yeah. I saw Al Vaughn sitting with him, and he knocked me out.
Yeah, Al Vaughn is
Yeah.
cool too.
He is really great. I
Yeah.
was shocked when I saw
I
him
want to
with that.
see Larry before he leaves here on me.
Yeah.
You know, I want to talk to him and remind him of how we did. I really loved him. He gave you confidence, and I was
That's
like,
nice.
what, 21, 22.
Wow.
You know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then not long after that, you ended up with Sly for a while, Sly Stone.
Yeah, I went to
Sly and the
I went to go
Family
see
Stone?
the chocolate factory down the hill from the city down the hill. And before that, I was with Sylvester.
Really?
Yeah.
You were in his group?
Yeah, I was
Wow.
at the. It's called the City in San Francisco, and Sylvester said, "Girl, if you have on some clothes, because I must have been about that big." He said, "Girl, you think you got on too much? Put on some more." And he would make me. He would wrap dresses around me, and we would sing his songs. And then he got bigger, but there was an argument over a song that I wrote. And we loved each other so much, but the interferences from outside sources
Yeah.
caused a rift.
That's too bad.
And we could have worked it out, I think.
Yeah.
Then I went with Sly Stone.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
And that was mainly recording, it sounds like, as opposed to touring.
recording, basically.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm on Heard You Miss Me Well I'm Back album. And another one too, but I can't remember what it is. But if you look on the back, you'll see me on there.
Really?
Yeah, you'll see me.
Wow.
I have red hair.
Okay.
Yeah. And
I'll
so I
check
did
that
2
out.
albums with them, and then that kind of fizzled. And then Zappa called me.
Now, how did he find out about
I
you?
don't know.
Really?
Maybe Sly told him, you need to get this girl. Or whoever, somebody
Really?
told him, because
Wow.
I said, because when he called the phone, he said, somebody answered the phone, they said, hello? And he said, answer this phone right now. And I go, why? He goes, Frank Zappa. You know who that is? I go, no, I don't know who it is. And so and then they said, come down to Los Angeles. I flew down to Los Angeles. I stayed at that castle. What's the name of that?
Oh, Chateau Marmont.
At the Chateau Marmont.
Right.
They put me up there. They gave
Right.
me a car.
Wow.
And all I had
Nice.
to do was go to rehearsal. I was scared to death. And so then he said, do you know a guitar player? So I recommended Ray White, who was from my group and who's still with them. You know.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, and the songs were scary because I had that gospel background. Some of the songs like "Torture Never Stopped," "Chrissy Puke Twice," "Give Me Your Dirty Love," but the one I really liked was "Advanced Romance." I love that song to this day. You know.
Now, were the songs pretty complex? What he did? I mean, because I always heard that the way he wrote was.
It was the words. I could sing the words. I could sing them, but it was like what they were saying. You know.
It's a little too much for
Yeah,
you.
Chrissy
huh?
Puke Twice and Give Me Your Dirty Love, the titties and beer.
Stuff you weren't quite ready
Yeah.
for. Yeah.
But he told me, I said, I don't know how to play, but he said, just play the clarinet how you want to do it. So I just played clarinet. So that became my love, to play clarinet. So I got good at that.
Okay.
Everything I've done has been on the spur of the moment. I haven't been able to study it, so I just know what I like.
Yeah. And so you toured a lot with him.
Yeah, we toured across the United States, yeah. And then we got to Canada, and he was starting to put a pressure on me to let him roll me in toilet paper or whatever he wanted to do. And I said, no. I said, you don't make the band do that. Well,
Yeah,
I have to do
yeah.
it. And so
Yeah.
it didn't work out.
Well, I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, and then what really hurt me was that right after that, the next day they went and did Saturday Night Live.
Oh my God.
Oh, that hurt me so
Oh, that must have. Yeah.
bad. I was no good for about a year after that.
Wow.
But then after that happened, I had my sons. I had both my sons in 78, 79. I had my sons. And then I met Van Morrison
Right. Now, how did you meet him?
through Pee Wee Ellis, his saxophone
Right.
player.
Right.
And he said, you need to come over and sing for us. And I said, really? And he said, yeah. And so I did the background arrangements with him. Make a long story short, I was in the background, and you can hear a lot of that performance on the.
And that was 81 to 86, so 5 years.
Yeah, about 83, 84. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I returned back to him in 2009, and I did a Pink Floyd song with him at the Madison Square Garden. So I have done Madison Square.
That's really amazing, man.
Which I always wanted to dream of doing, but the one thing I haven't done is the what's that big place in New York?
Yeah, I know what you're thinking of.
I want to sing there.
God, I know exactly.
Carnegie Hall. I want to
right.
sing there so bad.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll get to do that.
Has Van ever been there?
No.
He's never been at Carnegie Hall?
No, the Lord bless me. I want to perform there.
Yeah. So what's it like playing in front of that many people? That's a huge
It's
crowd.
amazing.
Yeah.
But it's getting out there. I had such stage fright. I was like,
Did you have stage fright?
yes, but nobody knew it. But it was like everything was happening to me. I don't know how to explain it, but it's like I'm falling into space.
So it was almost an out-of-body experience.
Yeah, like I when I first get into it, I'll be okay.
Yeah.
And then I'd step out and it would go shh, and everything would go, I can't do this. I can't do this.
Did it feel like that was Zappa sometimes too?
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And then no, now I can just.
Now you're.
But when I was with Zappa, maybe because he put so much pressure on me, I don't know what it was. But
Now, were you the only female in there?
yes,
Really?
Yes, I was the only female there. Well, he's had other females, but I just not on that with that band.
Yeah.
And so it was just too much.
Yeah.
And so that's probably why when you hear me singing, I put all of the stress and strain I had in my vocal, and it took me to higher heights.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was listening to her, Lady Bianca, at that age, and she was singing her can off. She was singing. And I said, I understand why you sang like that, because that was the only way to let that off of you.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting. So tell me about Van Morrison. What was he like to work with?
My little guy, Van Morrison. If he ever heard that, he would probably be mad. But I like his music. I like the way his interpretation of his music, and I could sing with him because I did arrangements on the backgrounds, but they fit together.
Now, it was you and how many other?
It was Annie Stocking.
Oh, okay.
And Pauline Lozano.
Okay.
And that was interesting because Pauline was there first. And I remember her saying, look, I'm the band leader. And I said, oh, no, you're not going to be the vocal leader. I know that. You know, I still talk to Pauline now. Me and her are the best of friends. We're almost sisters.
Huh.
And I said, no, we're going to see about this. So he started one of his songs off. I think it was Van Lowe's Stairway or something. What's my line? I'm happy cleaning windows. And she was like, I said, no, that's not going to go like that. And so then he said, make up some more. You know how you do. Make up some more. Yeah, just sing like that. I said, you need to rehearse? No, just put in there what you want.
So that's how you became the band,
vocal leader.
The vocal leader.
Arranger,
Yeah.
Yeah, and so we went to Rock Palace and did a show, and he let me sing one of my songs on there too, and that's on the internet too if you can find it on Rock Palace with Van Morrison.
Okay, that's in Europe somewhere.
Yeah, in Germany.
Germany. Okay. Yeah, that's a huge show.
It was a huge show, but I liked seeing I got used to that. That feel good again came. You know, things able to let that stress off like that.
Right. Now you've worked also with I know you did some vocals with Taj Mahal.
Yeah, I had a 2-year-old with me. My Austrian was with me, and it's a directed disc, and he wouldn't sit down. He was just everywhere making, like 1.5 or 2 years ago. And he said, okay, we done did this 5 times now. You got to find out a way to get rid of him or get rid of you. So I let him outside with his dad.
Okay. Yeah. And who are some other people you've worked with? Have you ever worked with Boz?
No, I didn't get to work with Boss, but I got to work with, what's his name? Fish something.
Oh, Barry Melton?
No.
Country Joe?
Yeah, Country Joe.
Yeah, I know
Fish.
Joe real well.
Uh-huh. And
Yeah. He's a character.
he's a character.
He's a good guy. It just takes a little while to get to know. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's a good guy.
We'll set him aside on the side. Yeah. And I think I did an album with him over in Marin.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Some background work.
Okay.
I've been in the Pizza Time Theater. I was Sally Sachet and the Skunk and Dolly Dimples.
Right.
And you can see some of the vocals.
Did you do a California Raisin ad?
Yeah, I did a California Raisin ad too as well. Yeah.
So you've done a lot of like just commercial work.
Yeah, I've done a lot
Vocally.
of commercial.
Yeah.
And so basically just rounding this way, that way, a lot of background work until I met Stanley Lippert, and then we formed our own Magical Records.
Right.
And so I've got 5 albums on there as well.
Now, what stopped you from moving to LA where all the
Because I didn't
studio
want to
stuff
be
is?
abused like that.
Yeah. Did you know a lot of vocalists from down there that were?
It's a hard business.
It is a hard business.
And if you go in there and they know you, the stranger, they're going to try everything they can to keep you out.
Right.
And so basically I just worked from home, and word of mouth got me where I needed to go anyway.
Right. Now, I know Joe Louis Walker had a lot to do with you getting on Telarc, is that
Yes,
right?
Joe Louis Walker heard me someplace or something. And his bass player, Henry Oden,
Right.
was there. And he said,
Right, because I forgot Henry was with him for a long time.
yeah, a long time. And
Yeah.
he said, I'm going to do something for you. So the Telarc called me, and it was, I think it was Robert Johnson that did the thing, and we did, Sally wrote the album. And we're still performing it today, because a lot of people never heard some of the songs we did, and they were amazing.
And that was Grammy nominated.
Yes, it
Yeah.
was. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then you had a Rooster Blues one that was.
Yeah, Rooster Blues with
Grammy
Robert
nominated.
Johnson. I think that was who that was.
Huh, okay.
And so then after that, Sally said, we're going to do our own. And so we have 5 to 6 albums of our own.
Wow.
CDs that have been out, but,
How do you find like putting out your own albums? I mean, does that feel like a big undertaking or?
Well, it was like you had to find a distributor.
Right.
But we distributed it ourselves, kind of. We mailed them out, and we did all of the things. And we had, when that was, CD Baby was strong.
Right.
And CD Baby would put them out for us. And so we're still in Spotify. I'm still in Spotify. And a
Did
lot
you
of
get
radio
Spotify yourself? Were you
No,
able to-
CD Baby did.
Oh, CD Baby did that. Okay.
They put us in all kind of places.
Yeah.
So they're still playing stuff that we got, and which is good, because people say, "Oh, this is nice," but the CDs went out of style, right?
Right.
So now it seems to be harder to me to get your music distributed, because you have to, they don't want, if you don't have a computer, they don't want the CD, but the stations do want the CD.
Right.
But the people just want to download it and not
Right.
pay.
Right. Exactly. Spotify.
Yeah, Spotify. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Definitely. Well, one thing I'd like to get into with you a little bit, I mean, you've obviously had your own career for quite some time, but you've also done off and on guest spots for people or whatever. And I remember at one point you weren't able to do a gig of, I forget what it was. I don't even remember what gig it was. It was something at the Empress, as I recall.
Yeah, we were doing not the Ron Thompson one, but you had another benefit.
And
of
I don't
some
even
sort.
remember what it was, but I remember
I
you
went
ended
blank,
up
too.
you ended up doing a session that time, and it ended up being on a Kanye West album, which you were sworn to secrecy. I
Yeah, and they said you better not say
Right.
you better not talk about it. You better not just them. You better not that.
Right.
And then I was like coughing and sneezing, so my voice wasn't in the best shape. Come to find out, I had gotten COVID somewhere.
And you still did the session.
And I still did. We didn't know I
Yeah.
had the COVID.
Right.
It's like, I just was like, I'm going to sing this as high as I can.
Yeah.
Or what
You're
you
able
wanted.
to pull it off?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good.
But then come to find out after that, he took the whole thing off anyway.
That
Put
happens all the time.
Put somebody else, but they had my melody lines.
Did they?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
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 And he even ended up marrying or going with somebody named Bianca.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I think I did hear that. Yeah. Huh.
He was very nice.
So you met him?
Yeah, I
You
got
met
to
him when-
meet him,
yeah.
and very, very nice guy, very professional.
Yeah.
But he had like, if he did a song, he did it 15 times or something. You know? He would do something like that. He's very professional and perfectionist, and
Right. Seems like that would wear your voice out.
it did.
too. Yeah.
But I wasn't gonna let him let me down or let him down. I had kept on till I couldn't.
Till you got it for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I'm just curious, I wanted to just talk a little about this with you, and it's kind of something that doesn't get talked about a lot, but just the roadblocks in the business. I mean, because we've both been doing this a long time. I think you've been doing this longer than me, and just the whole thing of doing business. You had your husband doing business for you. All the kind of things that get in the way: sexism, racism, ageism,
Artistism. Other artists here that you're getting from, they will lowball you.
Yeah. It's a lot of competition.
Yeah, and talk about you behind your back, or
Right.
say you said this, and so oh really, and so
Yeah, Mick Martin.
you said this about this, and
Yeah.
it's
It's kind of a cutthroat.
very cutthroat.
Very
It's
cutthroat
not. It's a
business.
hard business. It's not anything that you see on stage. Those people out there, they have gone through hell. It's like barbed wire fencing, but you walk through it.
Yeah.
And you're gonna get pierced, and you're gonna get hurt, and you're gonna have the producers hurt you. You're gonna have the promoters hurt you. You're gonna have the other musicians,
Critics, whatever. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
And there's gonna be days you don't feel like doing this, and you're gonna be threatened because you didn't want to go out and sing. I was hearing one girl say she had a bad tooth, and they made her go sing with that on her face like that. One of the girl groups said, "You better go
Yeah.
because we put this money up. You gotta go." And so those things happen.
Yep. They sure do.
And I kind of stayed out the way because I didn't want to be in the big top, because I wasn't going to be used like that. I've heard so many artists, past and present, that had to go through this because they thought they wanted stardom. There's a difference in being an artist and a star.
Yeah.
The
Amen.
star has no power, but the artist has power because you can do what you want
Right.
and make it work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. There's that whole ambition thing that so many, especially nowadays.
Illusions. They're illusions.
Yeah. The ambition thing is so huge with young people.
And it hurts me to see them. I said, don't you know that even the powerful top artists will kill you
Yep.
to stop your career?
If they see you as a threat.
Yes.
Yeah. Amen to that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Male
amazing.
and male to female. I thought that, if you were female, then maybe in your category. But males are jealous of you, and you are jealous of males. It works all around.
Yeah, sure does. And I mean, one thing I've found, lately is the whole thing of ageism, and that they really kind of don't want to give any play to people that are over a certain age.
Well, see, I think that's wrong because we still have a lot left
Yep,
and a lot of wisdom.
yep,
But if you talk, then that changes their perspective on how they want to use the young. So they want you to shut up and get out the way.
That's kind of what I always felt, was that the record companies kind of have this thing worked out where they figured if somebody's young and dumb is how they looked at
Because they
it.
can make that money and put that on paper, and
Right,
you're locked
exactly,
in.
and
You're
then
locked in.
and then somebody's gone as soon as they're not of value.
Yeah.
And
But see,
they,
if you the older people knew what the game was,
right,
but it was too late. But then they got it together, like later.
yep,
But the young people have no idea, and they think you're trying to stop them
Right.
from. You don't know nothing.
Right.
And that's the wrong attitude.
Yes, it
listen,
is. That's
listen,
right.
just listen and look. Hide. What's that word? Hide and watch.
Yeah, that's right.
So when they when they approach you, you have some background about who they are and what are their intentions.
Yeah. Well, I was really fortunate because I had a friend of mine early on, and he was older than me, and he was somebody that had been in the business for a long time. And I remember one of the things he told me really early on in my 20s is he goes, because he managed the Chambers Brothers, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and he goes, one of the things you always have to remember is if you get a hit, you better like it.
You better like it. You're gonna
Because if
sing
you
it a
don't,
lot.
you're going to have to sing it every day.
Because that's
night.
what Van Morrison, when we had to do Gloria, sometimes he would have a hissy fit about having to sing that.
Mm-hmm.
G-L-O-I.
Yeah, I bet.
Like,
I bet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Even like-
he's older and it's not him
He's
anymore.
tired, yeah.
Yeah, it's not him
But
anymore.
they want to hear that song.
Yep. Amen. Well, tell me some stuff you got going in the future. What do you got
Well,
coming up?
I'm just back from a very horrible experience in the hospital, but I made it. And so now I'm back. I'm going to be doing the Seaside Sunday Blues Festival on August the 4th.
Oh, good.
And I'm going on at 3 o'clock, and you got to come out and see me. And also, I have a GoFundMe page, Lady Bianca Recovery and Home Repair. And if you can get to that on Facebook on my page, Ladee Bianca, I would love it if you'd send me a couple of dollars.
and I'll share that too on my page. Yeah, I'll share that on my page as well.
And I appreciate you bringing me here, because when you are like in a dire strait or you think I'm done, my career's over, I'm doing this, and someone goes, "Can you come over and talk to us about you?" It's just like it goes, "I'm back. I'm opening my curtain. Curtain is open again."
Well, the thing is, you got so much talent, and it's like, I try to find people that have been around and have done what musicians do, and anybody to me that's still valid and still out there doing it like you. It's crazy to not give them time.
And I appreciate that, because sometimes we don't know our value. And we fall down and we can't get up. And I said, I'm not. I fell down, but I'm gonna get. I don't care how far down I fell.
Right.
I'm gonna get back up, and I did. I'm on my way back.
Well, I like what we said. You said on the way. She said, "I'm spicy." I said, "I am too."
Yeah, you better be spicy.
It gets us in trouble, but hey, it's also what keeps us going.
How you knew it? Mark Hummel. You hear Mark Hummel? Oh, spicy.
Right, exactly.
I said, yeah, but he's on there saying, "But singing. What are you doing?"
Right, exactly, and that's the thing. People get upset when you're not. When they aren't doing what you're doing, and it's kind of like,
Or they're in the female spots, it's women who are jealous of where you are in your position, and they'll do anything to demean you.
Yes.
Or get your gig.
Right. Right.
And I think that's been going on for years.
Oh, yeah. You ever seen the movie All About Eve?
Mm-hmm.
That's the ultimate.
And the nightclubs, people have been busting heads and getting people's gigs for the longest, so this is nothing new.
No, none of it's new.
No.
It really isn't.
No, so.
But I want to thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you
Bianca.
for having me on here.
Yeah, and it's great to hear your stories, and hopefully we will get some new people hip to your music.
I hope so.
Yeah.
You can find my music on Spotify. You can go to my website, ladybiancabandzugal.com, and see my website, and I got some
and that is
on
Lady.
L-A-D-Y, but on
Facebook it's
L-A-D-E-E.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Bandzugal, and that's like a band. Zoogle, like the zoo.
Okay.
Bandzugal.com.
Great. Well, thanks again.
Thank you,
Bianca.
welcome.
Appreciate it.
Just my weight and size. The one thing I like about you, babe, you got the great big